Well, we recently had life lessons through Legos, but is it possible to have another life financial lesson through a dentist visit? Well, here to give us some thoughts and insight into this is our own wealth strategist and certified financial planner, Rebecca Walser. Good morning.
Good morning, Carly. Great to be back with you.
I wasn't here for Legos.
No,
I missed
weren't.
that time.
That was Natalie. That's right.
But I heard it was good. A lot of feedback, a lot of good feedback. And you like doing this, taking something kind of unusual that makes you think about your finances a little bit differently.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. We're on the radio. We're on nationally on iHeartRadio, and we're on a show in Tampa locally and Saturdays on 860 The Answer, and it's nationwide on iHeart. And basically, we do a show often that's really philosophical, just about your goals and those things. And that's actually our highest rated show. I mean, people love us coming on and all the ways we can disseminate financial information, 5,000 different ways. But really, the goal shows are the one that gets the actual.
Really?
Yeah, and made me realize, you know, people really love to hear information that motivates them to be and live their best possible life, financially and every other way. And I was thinking about the Legos, and I was thinking about what that says to people. And I had another experience where I had to do my 6-month dentist checkup, you know, recently. And I noticed myself, I was getting ready that morning, and I noticed myself starting to say, okay, now, have I flossed enough every day? Have I used my mouthwash? Am I going to get in trouble this morning?
This is how people feel when they go see you about their finances.
I was almost like on the verge of calling the dentist and saying, you know, I don't. And then I thought, this is exactly how people feel when they're coming in to see me. And it was like such a revelation to me. I'm like, it must be scary to come talk to somebody about, and I just realized, gosh, I just want to reach out to them and say, you know, you don't have to be afraid, because having a plan is so much better than having no plan. I mean, not all plans are created equal. But I mean, you've got to get in there and have a plan. And so that's why we sit down with somebody. We talked about it before, having a cup of coffee, and we just sit down and we just get to know somebody and talk through what are they ultimately trying to achieve. One of our practice's biggest mottos is that we always begin with the end in mind, because we have to know where we're going. And sometimes just coming and talking to somebody and figuring out where it is you want to go is so revelational that it's so worth it.
Well, it can be overwhelming, and I think a lot of people, which I know we've talked about too, they can either not necessarily get stuck in a rut, but they may be on a plan that was good for them 20 years ago.
Right.
And the thought of having to look at everything again just seems so they do nothing. Do you see that a lot?
I see that a lot, and I'll talk about that on two different fronts. Well, first of all, from the financial and economic front, Carly, since 1995, we have a new normal in the market. We just absolutely do. I brought a chart. I would have loved to, but the chart shows that, from the beginning of 1926 all the way through 95, we just kind of had this slow up and down. We didn't have these huge. There was a couple of outliers, but since 1995, our market has just been up. And major ups and major downs. And then on the legal side, like in the state of Florida, for example, the laws change. So we've had things that have changed in the law since 2011 that could actually make some of parts of your legal strategy and your estate plan actually invalid.
Don't you think people haven't looked at this stuff in a couple years?
Absolutely. I can't tell you. I have people come in all the time that got their documents, done 5, 10, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, and they're not updated, and they need to be updated.
Well, and I was just talking to my parents too. They have things because they've changed jobs that, they feel like they have pieces of their financial life everywhere.
That's right.
And that needs to be looked at.
They need a mapping and figure out a holistic way to deal with all of that in one way.
And we touched on this a little bit the last time you were here about financial peace of mind, which is this, when you do come and talk to you, this is what you're offering people, which I don't know if there is a better gift to give yourself.
I don't think so. I think that, I don't know how I can achieve my goals if I don't know what they are. And for me, having a planned way to get to that is what it's all about. And so that's the way we approach our practice, and certainly the way we approach people that come to our office.
I think people too assume it's too late for me.
It's never too late until it's too late, which is when you're no longer breathing. That's when it's too late. But there are always things, Carly, that can be done up until the end that you can tweak, even just changing how you want your assets to be distributed. Isn't it better to say what you want than to let that go and let the state decide?
How often should we be having these things looked at? I mean, is this a once a year thing? Is this
I recommend a once a year thing, but at a minimum, you should do it I mean, I can't say less than once a year, but I definitely think you should be talking to somebody. You should have somebody that you can call and reach out to and then have an annual conversation with, at least even if it's over the phone. Is everything the same? Yep. Okay, great. Let's continue on with the plan.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much
you,
for being here this
So
morning.
great to be with
We
you.
love chatting with you,
Thank
and
you.
information there on the screen on how to get a hold of her and her team, who again can help offer that financial peace of mind, which is priceless.